All right, good morning, traders. Today is August 27, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That is the day trading service for the hit and run candlesticks family. Thank you for being here. Hey, thank you everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Appreciate that out there on the World Wide Web. Thank you for following my content. Thank you for subscribing to my content. Thank you for sharing my content. Thank you for liking my content. And thank you for following me on my trading journey. Special shout out to Kathy Sarah Roasted, Bob Jordan, John Jordan. Thank you for sharing my content. Love that. Appreciate that. Let's get the message out there. All right, let's go take a look at what happened yesterday, and we'll do the breakdown here. Okay, let's start off. Again, thank you for being here. My SPY pivot this morning, 643.65 above it. I'm a bull, below it. I'm a bear. Diamond Dow, QQQ, FNGU, made lower highs, lower lows, and closing over their traps and above their 17 EMAs. IWM made a higher low and a higher high, closing over bullish trap over the 17. SPY made an outside day. It's a higher high and a lower low, closing over bullish trap over the 17. SPY closed with a beautiful 2-hour uptrend and a 10-minute uptrend. I'm just going to stop right here, okay? So what's my favorite setup? It is the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. That's my favorite setup. Okay, you're not going to have that forever, all right? So this is a rare opportunity now to have all of those time frames supporting price action higher, okay? That's my favorite setup. 10-minute uptrend over VWAP inside all of those larger time frames. All right, back to the little monologue here. Okay, silver in an uptrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Gold in an uptrend made a higher high and a higher low, closing over the bullish trap over the 17. What's that, like 4 months straight now on gold, holding above the 300 level? That is awesome. That's incredible. Never seen gold with this much strength. Never. This is incredible. USO in a daily downtrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap. Under a bullish trap and under the 17 EMA. UNG made a new all-time low yesterday. US dollar index back in a downtrend, closed near the 98.24 area. SPY max pain for today, 643, with a put to call ratio of about 1.3 puts to each call that expires today at 4:15. Okay, now if you see a little star out here next to the tickers, that means they're probably building out a launch pad and breaking out, or building out a launch pad and looking primed to break out. Same thing here. You see a little star next to the ticker symbol. They're probably building a platform to go lower, okay? In other words, they're moving down and over to the right, building a platform, looking ready to go even lower than where they are, okay? So there it is. All of these should be in uptrends over the 17 EMA. All of these should be in downtrends under the 17 EMA, okay? So uptrends, downtrends, all right? Let's go take a look at some charts this morning. Start off with SPY. Start off with, hey, let's just do the 10-minute first, okay? 10-minute, we have the 3 EMA up on top of the 8 EMA, all up on top of the 17 EMA, and all 4 of those, okay, price, the 3, the 8, the 17, all up over the brown line. That's VWAP right there, okay? 10-minute uptrend over VWAP right there, okay? We like that. Okay, yesterday we held the area right through here, and then we climbed up on top of VWAP, and then just consolidated up here, and then climbed a little higher, and consolidated here and then climbed a little higher, and it looked like we consolidated in the overnight session. You can see right there, there's the overnight session. Okay, so how am I going to trade this today? Well, I'm going to box off the low of the morning action overnight range, the high of the morning action overnight range. I'm expecting a breakout to the upside. Okay, I could be tricked and have a breakout to the downside. I'm not in favor of trading counter trend trades, okay, because the market's super bullish. I may not, I don't know, but I'd rather trade to the upside. Anyways, here is the breakout. So I'm looking for a breakout over the base up here, and that would be an entry to go long with calls on SPY this morning, okay? A breakout under the base down here, all right? That would be an entry to go short with puts down here, okay? I'm not a big fan of the short trade. I'm a much bigger fan of the long trade. I don't know if the short trade would peter out and probably reverse. So I'm not a big fan of that one. Okay, markets are very bullish up here. We're up here, kind of like the all-time highs, 647. We're teetering on the all-time highs. So looking like they're ready to put in a new all-time high today. Wouldn't be surprised to see 650 today. Okay, before NVIDIA reports. Okay, would not be surprised to see 650 long before NVIDIA reports. We'll see what happens. All right, but this is bullish. Okay, this is a bullish environment. Whenever you see price action, okay, move up and then over to the right. That is bullish. Okay, we back out just a little bit more. All right, we got the same thing going on again, okay? Whenever you see price move up and over to the right, that's bullish. That's a sign of strength. Whenever they hold that higher ground, that's like doing, holding a chin up, like for that long, 1, 2, 3 days, holding that 3-day chin up, or holding a plank, all right, for those of you that exercise, okay, for 3 days straight, okay? That's a show of strength. All right, for me, that's very bullish. And we're right up here near the all-time highs, which is 647, okay? Big show of strength so far. I'm expecting a breakout to the upside, okay? Probably going to get it. We'll see what happens, though, all right? Anything could happen. I do expect price to break out. I like the higher low here in the post-market, hoping that the bulls are inspired to make a higher high. So it's looking good so far this morning. So there's the 10-minute. In addition to that, I'll probably box off the first 15 minutes of price action and trade the breakout of the first 15 minutes. All right. And the first 15 minutes may happen to overlap one of these two lines right here. All right. So again, I like to trade the breakout. That's my plan, to trade the breakout to the upside. Not going to trade the breakout to the downside. I'm just going to say that right now. I'll probably just wait for the reversal for them to come right back up here. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. That's my plan this morning. Left off with 10-minute uptrend. Okay, and let's go look at 2-hour chart. Got the hiccups. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. You can see 3 EMA on top of the 8 EMA on top of the 17 EMA. So 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Right there. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Nice bull flag on the hourly chart. Okay, we like that. So there's SPY. Daily chart. Okay, you can see all the green dots. Obviously, we're in an uptrend. All right. Huge uptrend starting from way back here. Okay, up at the top of, this is the quad lines, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, there's SPY making an attack on the all-time high area. Okay, all-time high area is 647. All right, so there's SPY on the daily. On the weekly, again, see all the green dots, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. Monthly, bullish and in an uptrend, okay? So my favorite setup, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. All right, inside that 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly, inside the monthly, you got all those larger time frames supporting the price action to go higher. I love that. Okay, that's my favorite setup. 10-minute uptrend over VWAP inside all those bigger time frames that are all pointing higher. All right, so there's SPY. Let's take a look at the game plan. Let's take a look at the 10-minute chart, pull up the game plan, see what we got here. Okay, so SPY pivot this morning, 643.65. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. I don't think the pivot will come into play this morning if we get the breakout. Got a green erases red entry over 645.15. You can see we're already over that already. That's a green erases red entry over 645.15. Red erases green entry under 642.20. I like 2 days till expiration options. Friday options on the multiple of 5 that are $3 to $15 out of the money. Those are what I like. Okay. I'm not opposed to trading 0 and 1 DTE options. Okay, I'm just saying that's what I like if I had a small account. Okay, just those right there. I like 9 DTE Friday options on the multiple of 5, $3 to $15 out of the money. All right. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, breaking up, and away from VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP, breaking down and away from VWAP. Okay, those are my setups right there. 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, 10-minute downtrend under VWAP. Okay, I'm not opposed to trading a 10-minute uptrend that happens to manifest long before I get the green erases red entry up here. Okay, if a 10-minute uptrend happens to manifest down here and it breaks the VWAP bullish 10-minute red rubber band candle, I will be highly interested in trading it to the upside. Okay, just saying. Okay, if it happens to manifest down here and not up here, I'm not opposed to trading a 10-minute uptrend. All right, I like 10-minute downtrends. All right, even if they happen to manifest up here. Okay, not a big fan of the 10-minute downtrend in this bullish market, but I do trade some of them. 10-minute downtrends if I see exhaustion in the pattern, in the price action. Okay, 10-minute downtrend long before the red erases green entry, which is way down here, 642.20. Okay, long before the red erases green entry. Okay, if it breaks, okay, again, the bearish 10-minute rubber band VWAP rubber band candle. Okay, that's what I like. All right, so again, I'm not opposed to trading downtrends. I'm not opposed to trading uptrends. Okay, even if they happen to manifest down here, those uptrends and those downtrends, even if they happen to manifest up here. Okay, so there's our SPY game plan for this morning. QQQ's got a game plan as well. Let's take a peek at that one. All right, what's going on? Here we go. All right, QQQ game plans. Push this over, push this over. QQQ pivot, 571.30. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erases green. Underneath, 570. Okay. Green erases red over 572.65. Again, we like 2 days till expiration and 9 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5 with strikes that are $2 to $10 out of the money. Okay, kind of the same thing for SPY. We like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. We like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Okay, let's take a look at pre-market, post-market on the 10-minute chart. All right, so yesterday's price action, you can see we had on the 10-minute, we had a brief 10-minute uptrend over VWAP there. Another brief we traded these 10-minute uptrend over VWAP there. Another 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that happened to rip into the close right there. So we got a higher low. Looking for the bulls to produce a higher high. They didn't get it. Came back, tested the low. All right, didn't produce a significant lower low. So we went back up there and tested the highs, okay? There's QQQ for yesterday. All right, and if you look at price action, again, we have a move from the low to the high and holding the higher ground. If we look at the price action with the quad lines on it, okay, probably going to see that we remain in the upper third. Okay, see, notice in the upper third, this would be the upper third of the quad lines right through there. So you notice price is in the upper third. That is a bullish environment. This is the bullish territory in the upper third. From the low up to the high, measure off the upper third. Lower third, this would be bearish. Anything in between here is going to be neutral. Okay, in between neutral, bullish, bearish. They held the upper third. That's exactly what we want them to do. And you can see them chipping away at overhead supply up here in the post-market, pre-market right now. Okay, so that's bullish. I'm expecting a breakout to the upside. So there's QQQ. Let's take a peek at the daily chart. All right, on the daily chart, what kind of candle we get here yesterday? Make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, you can see we've got a looking like an outside day on QQQ. Why does it look different on this one? Here we go. All right, yesterday. All right, here's yesterday. Lower high, lower low, closing over the bullish cross or over the trap, okay, and over the 17 EMA, okay. Still up there at the top of quadrant 4, okay. So that's bullish and in an uptrend on QQQ, FNGU. Okay, FNGU still in a downtrend. They haven't made the higher high yet, okay. They got themselves in a downtrend by... See that low right there below the 17? They made a lower low, so they got themselves in a downtrend. Still have not made the higher high. Here's the good news. Okay, even though they got themselves into a downtrend, they're not moving down. They're moving to the sideways and kind of blending up to the upside. Okay, so there's daily chart for FNGU. Lower high, lower low, but closing over the trap, okay, or the cross, and over the 17 EMA, okay? Top of quadrant or up in quadrant 4, that's bullish, and in a downtrend that's not working, okay? So there's FNG. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, okay? They're in an uptrend. They just made a brand new all-time high 3 days ago, okay? On Friday. Okay, so 3 days ago, they made a new all-time high. So price action, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, there's our quad lines. See all the green dots? Bullish and in an uptrend. IWM. Okay, IWM made a new rally high 3 days ago. That would be Friday. Okay, price action for IWM, higher low, higher high. Closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA up in quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at, I believe that's all of them. Let's take a look at technicals, all right? Start here with T2101. Okay, T21, this is the market breadth, all right? So a little more momentum, a little more force coming in on the breadth right up there. So an increase in market breadth yesterday, see, putting in a new higher high than the day before. See how the market breadth has been increasing through here. That is good news for the bulls to see that the uptrend is being supported by market breadth. Okay, that's T2101. T2122. Okay, you can see we came out of the overbought zone yesterday. Actually out of the buy zone yesterday, and meandered into the overbought zone and camped out there all day long. Okay, we could probably stay in here for 7 to 8 days. Just saying. Okay, doesn't mean we're going to come tumbling down. If we happen to catch 99, 100 up there, that will probably mean a pullback. All right, so you can see here's 99 to 100 up here. And, of course, we got the pullback to the buy zone. Okay, made a higher low and found our way back to the overbought zone. All right, so we can hang out here. Just because we're in the overbought zone doesn't mean we're going to sell off. All right, so, but if we do get up to 99 or 100, expect a pullback in the hourly, 2 hour, maybe even daily time frame. Okay, just a pullback on maybe a couple days, maybe 1 day, maybe half a day. Okay, so there's T21.22. Spent the day in the overbought zone. Love it up there. Okay, T21.23. New rally high yesterday. Okay, new rally high. You can see right there. In an uptrend, look at all the green dots. Okay, price moving up. A lot of bullish gaps that aren't getting filled by the bears. Here's one right here. Bullish gap up. Not getting filled by the bears. Move up here, making a higher high. That's definite uptrend. Over the 200 SMA, that's bullish. Another bullish gap, not getting filled by the bears. Another bullish gap, not getting filled by the bears. What's price action doing? Well, it's moving up. Okay, it's moving up, and it's holding the higher ground. See it? Move up, hold the higher ground. Move up, hold the higher ground. Move up, hold the higher ground. Okay, that's bullish. Move up, hold the higher ground. And then consolidate over prior consolidation. Okay, so you can see that consolidate over all of this consolidation right there. That's a bullish environment. Everything bullish here on T21.23 broad market. Okay, everything looking fantastic. All right, on T21.23. Let's look at this on the 3-bar chart. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. Okay, so here's these two peaks. And I said it would take us a little while to get through some of this consolidation over here. So we got a peak right there. All right, and a peak right there. And then a valley here and a valley there. And you can see we couldn't cut through it in one 4-hour candle. So we had to come back, all right, make a higher low and then produce the higher high. Now I'm going to put my crosshairs up on that. You're going to see that price, see those candles over to the right? Those are up over the crosshairs. They have now transitioned through all of this congestion right here, okay? That consolidation. All that's left is the all-time high. Nothing to stop price other than the all-time high. Okay, so I'm just going to say this now. I'm expecting a new all-time high for T21.23. All right, we'll see what happens. This is looking fantastic. 3-bar chart. Got a high, got some higher highs. Definite uptrend. Up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. Top of quadrant 4. Again, making new rally highs. That's bullish and in an uptrend, T21.23. FNGU, not quite as much strength as T21.23, but we are holding the higher ground here, okay? So you can see price has moved up and a sloppy hold to this higher ground up here, all right? But we are holding the higher ground, okay? So not the prettiest, looking like we're putting in some consolidation right through there. Okay, I just want to show you that so you see that. Even though we do get caught underneath the 200 SMA once in a while. All right, price action kind of showing us a bearish head and shoulders pattern here. Not liking that at all. All right, need somebody to come through and decapitate the head so that we can continue going higher. Yesterday, this would be the 26th, a little bit of selling in the afternoon. And you can see the market on the T2123 went higher, but FNGU went lower. All right, back underneath 200 SMA here. Okay, didn't fall apart, but definitely setting up a head and shoulders pattern. Hopefully, price action can get up here and decapitate the head, nullify this head and shoulders pattern right here. We did manage to make it back up on top of the falling 200 SMA by end of day. That's a good sign, okay? That's a good sign. And we failed to produce a significant lower low. That is a good sign as well, okay? And if you look at price action right through here, you can see another good sign is we moved from this low up to this high, and then we held the higher ground up there. So there's some bullish structure right there, okay? And we've got big bullish structure. If I pan out, you can see all those candles moving over to the right. And we got up on top of the 200 SMA. So those are all good bullish environments right up there. So we'll see where we go. Got to get over this head, though, all right? On this head and shoulders pattern. Got to get up on top of that. It's imperative. Otherwise, this stays alive and we could come tumbling down. Okay, so there's FNGU. All right, so we'll take a look at a few sectors. Let's scoot on over to right here. Actually, how about that one? All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. And we'll look at it on the daily chart. Silver, you can see right here, top of quadrant 4. All right, that's bullish. Okay, we're making higher. See the low, we're making higher lows and higher highs. So we're in an uptrend and we're bullish up here. Yesterday's candle. Make sure I get the crosshairs. No, let's go to this one. Okay, right there. Yep, lower high, lower low, but closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend. Gold hanging out over 300 still, 4 months in a row. All right, price action in an uptrend right through here. Price action higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, again, big show of strength. 4-month hold up here over 300 on gold. Let's take a look at UNG. This is an easy one. All-time low yesterday. New all-time low. All right, see that? Price action comes down, makes a new all-time low. We're in a downtrend. You can obviously see the red dots right through here. Price action produced yesterday. I'm just going to call it a lower. I don't know how close it is. Lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17. UNG in a downtrend and bearish and weak. All right, UNG. Let's take a look at USO. USO got a habit of moving up and giving it up. Okay, just neutral. Okay, it goes up, gives it up. Goes up, gives it up. Even it goes down and it gives it up. And then it goes up and then it gives it up. So it's just neutral. If they ever happen to hold the higher ground in the upper third, that would be bullish. Okay, up here. If they could hold this area up here. Okay, if they're down here and they hold this area down here, that would be bearish. Okay, right now they just keep continuing to move up, give it up, so they're just neutral through here. Okay, just neutral right through there. All right, price action is in a downtrend because we made, here's a low, we made lower lows, so we're in a downtrend. In order to negate the downtrend, we have to come all the way up there and make a higher high to negate the downtrend. Either that, or we produce a higher low here and then come back up and take out this high after we create a higher valley right here, higher valley low right here, and then shoot up through and take out that high. Okay, so still in a downtrend, just neutral. This is not ready yet. Still not ready yet. It was looking good there for 4 days, but obviously still not ready yet. There's USO. Okay, look at a few others, all right, and then we'll take a look at the economic package. SMH, all right, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, and in an uptrend, all right, right there. XLK, technology, okay, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, all right, and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF, yesterday, let's see what we got here. High here, 52.94, high yesterday, 53.69. Review that one more time. Oh wait, high 53.68, high 53.69. New all-time high for XLF, okay? Drop the mic, it doesn't get any better than that. And it closed at the high of the day at the end of the day. There's XLF, new all-time high. Let's take a look at IYT. All right, here's IYT up in quadrant 4. We're in an uptrend because we are making higher lows and higher highs. IYT, bullish, and in an uptrend up here, top of, actually in the bottom of quadrant 4, okay? So bullish and in an uptrend, like that higher low right there. So we got transports in an uptrend. You got financials making new all-time highs. You got T2123 making new all-time rally highs, okay? We got SPY, QQQ, FNGU, all, well, not FNGU, but SPY and QQQ in uptrends and bullish. All right, FNGU is in a downtrend that's not working and still showing strength by holding the higher ground. Okay, you got Diamond Dow in an uptrend, making higher highs. You got IWM making new rally highs. Okay, markets are bullish. Markets are very bullish. Okay, look, they're bullish until they're not. Okay, and hence that's the reason I'm not very interested in trading any downtrends at this time. Okay, unless it gets, I see exhaustion, that would be interesting to me. I would be tempted to trade exhaustion, an exhaustion candle, move back towards VWAP, or I move back towards the mean anyways. All right, so here's IYT. Let's take a look at the economic package, and we'll start off right here. Okay, so they made a lower low right here. All right, so that puts them in a downtrend on the dollar because they made a lower low. Price action. Okay, if we look through here, I'll zoom way out. You can see, okay, all these valley lows right through here. Okay, all of these valley lows. Okay, that would be major support if price was up above it. Okay, and we were up above it. All of this is major support. Well, price came down through, all right, and we broke major support. Came back up and tested it, failed to hold the higher ground up here. Okay, so now came back down, made a lower low. So where are we at? Okay, so price action, okay, has come down and over to the right. So that is a bear flag. Okay, and now we have a downtrend in our bear flag based on this candle right here making a lower low. Okay, where did we close yesterday? We closed at, it would be the bottom of the body of that red candle right there, about 98.22 area. Okay, so you can see this is a bear flag. Okay, again, move down. Okay, move down and over to the right. Okay, we're caught underneath, which once was major support is now minor resistance. Okay, so we're in a bear flag in a downtrend right through here. That's the US dollar index. Okay, we like a weak dollar. All right, the consumer in us does not like the weak dollar because all it does is make everything more expensive for us. Okay, but for the investor in us, we like a weak dollar because it makes our goods and services more affordable in the global market space. Okay, so speaking of the global market space, let's take a look at the economic numbers. Okay, just want to point out GDP, that would be the global market space. It's going to be reporting tomorrow, okay, at 8:30. What do we have on deck for today? MBA mortgage applications is 7. Petroleum report at 10:30. And then that's it. Really light day today. So if the bulls want to run, there's nothing stopping them there. Okay, Thursday, what do we got? This is tomorrow. GDP comes out at 8:30. Jobless claims, that's the main event this week. Okay, GDP. All right, and personal income and outlays coming out tomorrow. Okay, the day after, not tomorrow, the day after. Okay, jobless claims 8:30, corporate profits 8:30, pending home sales index 10 o'clock, gas report at 10:30. On Friday, international trades and goods at 8:30, personal income and outlays 8:30, Chicago PMI 945, wholesale inventories 8:30, retail inventories 8:30, consumer sentiment at 10, and a rig count at 1 o'clock. That's all Friday. Lots more news on Friday. All right. For earnings, okay, for tonight, okay, this is the main event this week. NVIDIA reports, okay. It's going to say, might want to be delta neutral coming into tonight's earnings, okay. This is capable of moving the markets, okay. There is an AI bubble being blown, manifesting right now, okay. We are in an AI, and NVIDIA is the top dog in the AI bubble. All right, so they report tonight. That's 4.3 trillion. That's a T, trillion dollars of market cap, and it's heavily weighted inside the QQQ and SPY. It's going to be reporting tonight after the close. Okay, Royal Bank of Canada, 192 billion. They're going to report this morning. CrowdStrike, 104 billion. They're going to report tonight alongside of NVIDIA, but all eyes will probably be on NVIDIA more so than they will be on CrowdStrike or Snowflake. Okay, so think about being delta neutral. That's when you're delta neutral. That's having equal amounts, okay, of market cap in your portfolio, short as you do long. Okay. I would for me, I'm going to have a little more long than I will short if I was going to be delta neutral. That's just me, okay? Because the markets are bullish. Okay, Thursday, Toronto Dominion Bank, 129 billion. That's tomorrow morning. Dell, 88 billion. They're going to report tomorrow night, okay? Again, some more familiar names, Autodesk, Marvell. All right, some more familiar names, but nothing that's going to be market moving, not like NVIDIA. Okay, Friday we got Alibaba, 186 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Frontline, again, some more familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Okay, Alibaba is going to be the headliner for Friday. Thursday is going to be Toronto Dominion Bank again, probably having some leftover excitement from the NVIDIA earnings coming in Wednesday evening. All right, so that's it for the economic and the market recap for this morning. Okay, I will open up the markets with you guys in about 40 minutes. Meantime, I'm going to try to get this video out there and rendered for everybody out there in Digital Land, Cyberland. All right, thank you, everybody. I will see you all in 40 minutes.